Well, first of all, welcome to everybody. This is an important morning, especially as we begin to celebrate our nation's independence and we reflect on our own freedoms. As we all know, there'll be no fireworks shows this year, especially here at the Rose Bowl. However, there is a Tribeca drive-in experience from July 2nd to July 26th. We're hoping everybody gets a chance to participate in that event during this period. But most of all, we're concerned about the fireworks. We are absolutely seeing an increase across this country in the use of fireworks, and not just regular fireworks. We are seeing an increase in dangerous fireworks. It's the sounds we could hear, the M60s, the M80s, and not just the colorful fireworks that are already illegal. It's all the others that we're worried about. The quick fuses, the short fuses are of concern to us. And so the message today is absolutely no fireworks. And that's important for everybody to understand. The Pasadena Police Department and fire departments will keep our communities safe. We will be enforcing our ordinance. The ordinance has up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine, and so it's important to know that. It comes with additional charges if you're not careful with that include arson, property damage, and maybe even endangering children. Our citations have the ability to cite people and property owners even though we arrive and the fireworks were already ignited. So please understand that. And it's going to be very important to also understand in Pasadena, we've seen our own increase of 700% in the use of firework calls. And we have to be very concerned about that and the type of injuries that could come from these type of devices. So we will continue to enforce our regulations. We also have prevention strategies in place with sting operations and enforcing other type of ordinances that we do have. And so we want everybody to understand that so far we've issued 20 citations and nearly 300 pounds in fireworks. So it's going to be important for all of us to take care of one another, to be one community, to ensure that we know what the laws are and we know what we should be doing as community members. I will end it with this. We do have to be careful with our animals. And please bring your pets inside. People lose their pets this time of the year, and it's very important that we bring them in because of the stress and the noise for our pets that occur. So with that, we thank you. And again, the message today is absolutely no fireworks. And we should ensure that we're influencing that amongst our community members. So thank you for that.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Ying Go. That's YING-YINGGOH. There has been a dramatic increase over the past 2 weeks in the number of new cases of COVID-19 in Pasadena, as well as in LA County and California. We are seriously concerned that unless there is an immediate change in the way people are conducting business and socializing, local hospitals will be overwhelmed in the coming weeks, and more people will be at risk of hospitalization or death from COVID-19 or other medical conditions. Our data show that the increase in Pasadena cases is largely due to individuals and families venturing out with other households, having social gatherings, or not being able for various reasons to maintain quarantine or isolation requirements. We are seeing more transmission among younger people, a 38% increase in case rates for those ages 18 to 40 in the past 2 weeks. People of all ages can become seriously ill, and people with mild or asymptomatic infection who interact with others may unknowingly spread COVID-19, so everyone must avoid crowds and gatherings. It is our collective responsibility to slow the spread of this virus. Because of the reopenings of many businesses with strict public health protocols, people may think that they do not need to stay at home anymore. This is not the case. COVID-19 is still here, and the risk to all of us is real. Stay home, except for essential needs, and follow public health protocols when patronizing approved businesses. At this time, the state requires that we do not get together with people who we do not live with. Gathering with other households, family or friends, is not an allowed activity. The state also requires all of us to wear a face covering whenever we go out in public. Wear a face covering properly over your nose and your mouth anytime you leave the house, because it is required for businesses, workplaces, and public spaces. This weekend, to celebrate the 4th of July holiday, we are asking that you make the best choice for your health and the health of those around you. Please do not attend parties or gatherings with your families or family or friends. And do not get together with anyone who does not live in your house. Enjoying the outdoors is an option, but only with the people you live with. And if you do go outside, maintain 6 feet of physical distance from others, and please wear a face covering. It is imperative that businesses follow public health protocols strictly to minimize the risk to our community and to help flatten the curve again. We thank those businesses that have been very careful to follow protocols and are protecting their customers and employees to the extent possible. Other practices that can help reduce the spread of COVID-19. Washing your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more frequently. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. Stay away from work and other people if you are sick. And please, answer the call from the Public Health Department if we try to contact you. We are wishing you a safe and happy 4th of July at home.
Good morning. My name is Brian Frieders, and I am the Interim Fire Chief for the Pasadena Fire Department. My name is spelled BRYANFRIEDERS. What you see behind you is the City of Pasadena's commitment to public safety. You'll see water tenders, you'll see patrols, you'll see fire trucks, you'll see firefighters. Along with our law enforcement and health partners, we're able to try our best to try to minimize the exposure not only to COVID-19, but also to these catastrophic wildfires. For the past several years, we've seen the effects of wildfires in communities. We've seen the devastation, we've seen the death. This press conference today is all about preventing that, by letting people know that fireworks will kill and can kill. We've seen it all across this country. We've seen it especially in California the last couple of years. What you see behind you is our strategy to try to minimize the risk to the city of Pasadena and its surrounding communities. In these water tenders that are sitting behind me, you'll see a substance called Phos-Chek being loaded inside of that. Many of you may be familiar with Phos-Chek. It's that bright red substance that comes out of airplanes during wildland fires. It is an environmentally pet-friendly substance that we spray on some of our wildland brush areas to try to prevent ignition from fireworks or other embers that may ignite it. It'll be sprayed in some of our very high and our high hazard areas across the community, again, as a mitigation measure in anticipation of the 4th of July celebration. Now, some have asked, well, wait a minute, the Rose Bowl isn't having their traditional fireworks celebration. As the chief alluded to, there's been a 700% increase in calls for service for fireworks. We know that they exist. Just because the 4th of July isn't happening at the Rose Bowl doesn't mean that fireworks aren't a threat to our community, and that's why we continue to move forward. Throughout the year, the fire department conducts a vegetation management program. We inspect almost 4,500 homes up in the hillside communities, making sure that they're compliant with their brush clearance. That allows us to get a head start should something break out in the wildland areas of our city. Each month, the fire department conducts a walk with our Parks and Rec partners to make sure that the arroyo, the beautiful part of the arroyo, isn't an impact and isn't a threat to some of our homes. As the chief said, fireworks are illegal, and I can't tell you how important that is for you to understand. I understand that you want to have a celebration. I get that. All of us do. We celebrate the nation's independence. But we have to use these cautions. We have to use these precautions now because they can cause deadly wildfires and personal injury. Each year, more than 9,000 people are injured from fireworks. Someone always says, well, what about the safe and sane ones? There is no such thing as a safe or sane firework, period. The most common injuries from fireworks come from children, ages 10 to 14. As parents, you need to be responsible for your children. I've seen videos, I've seen Facebook posts, I've seen social media where kids are holding sparklers. Sparklers are dangerous. Sparklers account for 36% of the fireworks burn injuries each year. So as a parent, I can't imagine you would want to expose your children to that. So just don't do it. Many people blow their hands off. They burn their eyes out. I'm pretty sure that you don't want to have that happen to you. So do us all a favor and just don't use fireworks illegally. As the chief alluded to, the city of Pasadena will issue citations not to the people necessarily that are using the fireworks, but also the property owner. We will hold the property owners responsible and accountable for anybody that allows for the illegal use of fireworks. $1,000 and 6 months in jail. Not my idea of a good celebration for Independence Day. Just don't do it. Bottle rockets, sparklers, and firecrackers, the most commonly seen fireworks. They're the most deadly. Just don't do it. Thank you.
Can you detail some of the areas you'll be spraying?
I'm sorry?
Can you detail some of the areas you'll be spraying the Phos-Chek?
Sure. So the Phos-Chek is going to go in our lower Arroyo and some of our high hazard areas. As you see, the hillsides, a lot of folks this year said, well, we got a lot of rain, so that should be a good thing, right? Well, right now everything's green. But that grass that grows about 6 or 8 feet tall, the moisture in that, once we start getting hot days, is going to dry out, and it's going to become a significant risk to our city, which is why we're doing the mitigation, the brush clearance standards, and the Phos-Chek in and around the lower Arroyo and some of our high and very high hazard areas. Yes, I do. I've had a concern about those since I've been a firefighter. You know, I don't know who came up with safe and sane, but there's really no such thing in my mind as safe and sane. Now, maybe someone's been lucky and they haven't been burned or they haven't exploded in their face, but you're dealing with fire, and playing with fire is never a good thing. Any other questions before we proceed? You let me off that easy, huh? So what's going to happen next is you're going to see our resources behind here deploy. I think for the media, if you want to go across the street, that's their first section. So if you want to get yourself staged over there, we can get that started. If anybody wants to have a one-on-one interview with me or the chief or the public health director, we're happy to do that right here at the podium. So.